What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Holeyboard Pedalboard. This is one of my favorite boards, but I want you to know, is this one the right one for you if you're in the marketplace? There's a lot of boards out there, so I'm going to be giving you an honest review. I want you to understand, like, what are the positives about this? Are there any negatives? Anything that, maybe need to be enhanced or deal breakers? And then lastly, just rather than you have to go read 27 different reviews, I want you to be able to hear you and I spend 5 or 10 minutes together, and from there, you know exactly if this is the one for you. So, I want to save you some time. Let's get off the screen and get a guitar in our hands, because that's where the true benefits come. One of my favorite things about this board right here, I bought the big one. It's the exact same thing as the one underneath it. So, if you lift this thing up, you'll be able to see just a couple of brackets. Long story short, that's going to give you the ability to slide this thing back and forth, so that way if you ever have just the need to expand it, you've got it. You don't have to go buy yourself another board. So that's the first thing. Second thing I like about this is just the elevation on this tier. You'll see a lot of boards in the marketplace today where they've got like a slope to them. So there's a slight increase. This one I like significantly more. One, the level, how much it goes up is so much higher, so you have, and it's slanted, so you got no worries when you go to click it and engage the pedals that are up here. You're never going to have a problem with hitting any that are down here with your heel. Last thing, when you're about to go into a solo or do whatever it is you do, you don't want that mental strain of, am I going to knock a little EQ or knock the tone on one of these other ones or slide a volume down? You just don't want that. So that is super cool. Another thing that I really dig, this is what I call like the wah plate. This wah plate over here, it's really just like some sort of an extension for wah-wahs, for expression, volume, whatever. I love it because it's flat. I don't know about you all, but for me, I don't want my wah in the middle. I don't want it sandwiched in between a bunch of pedals. Every other pedal, you click it, done. Whereas this one, you're constantly using the sweep effect. So I want it clean, easy. It's flat. It's off to the side. It's large enough. You can actually expand your board and have two of these, which I think is just super slick. I'm using this exotic one rather than a typical like a Crybaby or something, which are also great. I love the tone of this thing, and it's a little smaller, so I can actually fit a second pedal on the board, which I think is super slick. By the way, in the theme of saving you time, if you want to see demos on all these, I've got some with some killer samples. Again, my big goal is, how do I get guitar in my hand more often? And if you can find trusted resources with good reviews where you can find stuff quick, it's going to save you time, it's going to make you a better player, and yet you'll carve your tone out and find what you're looking for. So check those out. Also drop me in the comments if you see your favorite pedal board is or isn't on here. I want to know, because if it's not, for sure, I want to be able to go and learn from you. So, quick side note, just do me that favor, but let's keep going. Couple other things that I think are really slick. One, you can do Velcro or zip ties with this. So in the middle, there's a strip on both tiers where it's got smaller holes, so Velcro can fit easily. So that way, like used to only have one tuner. If I wanted to swap it out, I could just yank it off the board, put it on my rehearsal one. It's super easy. The other ones, a lot of them have zip ties. A couple things that I love about zip ties that I never realized. How many times, I've been in this a lot, where you need to move a pedal by just a hair, just a fraction of an inch, to be able to grab a patch cable out, to swap a battery, get the power cable, or to just be able to throw one extra pedal on your board, and the ability to just kind of like move one of them just a hair and yet still have it really solid when you engage it. That to me was a game changer. So that's another thing I like. One of the final things that I just think is really slick is just how clean you can keep one of these things. So underneath, you just got the ability where there's a lot of space to house your power supplies, all your cable work. I've got mine in a way where a lot of people do, but you start with basic overdrives, gets a little heavier, then it goes into modulation, loops all the way back, just because I have space over here for my, like, that power amp, like a Helix Stomp. This one's a Strymon Iridium, but something, just being able to run it back and forth without a big eyesore or a bunch of cables. Super clean, efficient. I love that. So those are some of the things I dig the most about this. As far as any dislikes, I'd say there's really no deal breakers on this. There's a couple things that would be nice to have that I do miss about one of their older versions. One is the older one had handles, so when you're pulling this out of your case, it's a big, you're just lifting that sucker right on out of there. Just having just a couple of little rubber coated handles carved into the metal would be awesome. Again, certainly isn't a deal breaker, just a nice to have. Another thing I really dug on the old one, had this like ergonomic shape to it, where it was like, think a half moon, but far less drastic. Just enough so as your foot moved, it moved in that direction. It moved kind of just in that arc. I loved that because it just made it so effortless to engage your pedals. This one's obviously straight, super cool. Oddly enough, I am able to fit one more pedal on this one than the one from years ago, but either way, I still think this is probably your best value for any of the, home use / touring musician just pedal boards. So the last thing, and this is again by no means a deal breaker, but when I originally ordered this years ago, I ordered the soft shell case, ended up returning it. It's kind of soft and flimsy. That's one thing though I really dig about the company. It's like one dude who came up with this design, and he got feedback right before I did this video. I looked up to see, and it's changed. Now it's a lot thicker, hard stitching. It's made in the USA. It stands upright, so even though it's soft, you can just pull the pedalboard right out of it, which I think is super cool. So that's almost like a benefit in my opinion. I ended up having to do a workaround where back then I just ended up getting a mono case. Fits perfectly. The thing that I love again about the size of this board, it's not the only case it'll fit in, but that mono one does work very well for me. Now in hindsight, if I bought it today, I'd probably go with the one he offers, but it fits, so I just think that's super slick. I'd assume if you're watching this, you're in the market, you dig this, you're looking to get better as a player. My big thing, check out some of the other videos because I've got lessons and gear review, and point is, if we can save time for one another, for players, getting more time of the guitar in the hands and less time just trying to do the research, that's the whole point of this. So I'm doing that for you because I want it to help you. So if you dig that, I sure would appreciate it. Like, subscribe. Either way, I just thank you for watching this. Remember, I want you to rock the journey, enjoy the journey, and I appreciate you watching. We will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.